second. Oh no, what? Wait a sec. Oh no, something's wrong. Something's very wrong. Alright, I'm gonna turn this off. Hey guys, RPM here. Hope you're all doing well. I was gonna do a totally different video today, but as I just walked by, I saw one of my non-LHR 3080 rigs here. These are the EVGA for the Win 3s. This rig, I think I made like a year ago or so. Only half of the side was working. So I got two 1200 watt power supplies, and it looks like only one was working, and the motherboard seemed to be off, as well as this power supply. And then 4 fans, and as well as these 3 3080s were on this power supply, and then these 2 plus the other one down there was on this Seasonic, I believe 1300 watt power supply. So do I have a broken power supply? We're gonna have to troubleshoot some things here, and I think one thing I noticed right away is that, man, this rig is extremely dusty. I have not touched this rig for like over a year now. It's been mining straight, but yeah, it looks pretty dusty, and I wonder if dust was one of the killers, I guess, for potentially either the power supply or the motherboard. Well, we're gonna figure it out here, guys, in a sec. So first things first, let me blow out the dust. And you know, one thing I just thought of, I'm gonna try and I'm gonna turn on my exhaust fan and just blow the dust right here and see if it goes out. Let me get my air blower. Okay, I feel some airflow going out there, so theoretically the dust should go out that way. So let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. Okay, I think it's working. Okay, I'm just gonna unplug this rig and I'm gonna put it on a table so that we could troubleshoot the power supply or the motherboard or whatever it is that made it stop working. I think it's the power supply because I saw this GPU was off. So let me put this on the table. Okay, so I want to test out the power supply and this. Okay, so this mining rig has 2 1300 watt Seasonics, and I have a Thermaltake, like a 24 pin splitter adapter here. So I'm gonna take this out, and I gotta get a paper clip, and I'm gonna plug in the power so I can just see if I can short the power supply to turn on. If it doesn't turn on, then I guess we know that it's the power supply. So let me get a paper clip. Okay, so I took out the GPUs so that I don't want to short the GPUs or anything, just in case. So I have a paper clip plugged in. Okay, I plugged the power in for the power supply. I haven't turned on the power switch yet. I took out the SSD. I have nothing plugged in on that power supply except for a riser, 2 risers. So just to see if these power on for some reason. So, all right, here we go. So I have the power to 240 volt plugged in, and we're gonna turn it on here. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Nothing. Not turning on. I also took out the 8-pin CPU from the motherboard, so nothing is plugged in there. Pretty sure I plugged in the right pins. I just copied the other 2 pins here on this Thermaltake 24 pin adapter. So yeah, so that should be the one that should turn it on. I think the power supply is dead. One thing I want to try is plugging the power in 120 volt, because I've been using 240 volt PDUs. So let me switch the power cable to a 120 volt plug in the wall. Okay, we're plugged in. I'm gonna turn it on. And Nothing. Nothing. Did not turn on. Okay. Well, yeah, I think I can confirm the power supply is dead. One thing I want to try real quick, the paperclip method on the other power supply. Let me put that on. Okay, paperclip's in. I got this power supply plugged in for 240 volts. So here we go. And the GPUs are plugged in as well. So these should theoretically turn on. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah, that worked. Yeah, this power supply works. And the 2 GPUs are on. So, yeah, okay. That's it, guys. We confirmed the other power supply is dead. So, what am I going to do? Am I going to replace this 1300 watt Seasonic power supply? No. I'm going to transition these 3080s into, you guys know, you guys guessed it, an Octominer case. And I'm going to do it in the Octominer X12 Ultra because these 3080s require 3 8-pins. And you guys know the X8 Ultras that I just bought, I have a whole bunch of them, but they only have dual 2 8-pins per strand. So I can't do 3 strands per 3080 in an X8 Ultra. If I wanted to do 3 8-pins, I'd have to get an X8 Ultra Plus. That will come with 3 8-pins per 16 gauge strand, which is, I don't know, still kind of scary for me to do. But anyways, I'm going to do it in this X12 Ultra as I have 12 strands and I'm going to devote 2 strands per 3080. Alright, non-LHR 3080. And you guys know I did the exact same thing with 6 3090s in an X12 Ultra. So, well, yeah, I guess I'm retiring this 12 GPU mining frame. You guys know, I guess I'll be slowly transitioning all of my other frames to my X8 Ultras eventually. I'm gonna do it really slow. I guess it was a good time for this rig to go into a server case anyway because the power supply died. So that's unfortunate. I guess I'll try to RMA this Seasonic 1300 watt power supply. All right. So, you guys will see these 6 3080 non-LHRs in this X12 Ultra right now, and we'll see if they all work in mine. Hopefully none of them are dead. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. There we go. All the GPUs are in. You guys can see how much spacing I have because I'm putting 6 3080s, not 12. Alright, if I did 12, I would not have enough PCIe cables. And one thing, okay, so I cable managed the cables because it was all over the place, so I definitely recommend that if you guys are doing the same thing. But one thing, with these For the Win 3s, they're quite high, right? You can see how they're up here, right? And the PCIe cables, they are sticking out just a little bit. So this is the same issue I had with the 3090s, okay? The 3090 Octominers, I have 6 in there. I had an issue, a little bit of an issue of pushing down the cover on top here. So I'm gonna have to, what I did before is I just had to push down these cables as much as I could, but not enough to like break it, right? I don't want to break these cables. So that's all I had to do really. Alright, so anyways, guys, I'm gonna do that right now, put the cover on, and then I'm gonna place this whole 6 3080 rig on somewhere. I had the power over there, so I'm gonna figure that out right now. Alright, so you'll see this Octominer somewhere over there. Okay, so they showed up in Hive OS, but I'm getting a GPU driver error, no temps. And it constantly does that. Every time I reboot, it's not mining, so we got an issue here. So you guys can see, I just put my other 3080 right on top because I had it over here, and then I just placed the Octominer X12 on the shelf here. So I also put the same SSD that was on the other rig over here. So I'm gonna shut this down, I'm gonna take this out, I'm gonna put a new Hive OS image and see if that remedies the issue I'm having here. GPU driver, no temps. I hope a 3080 is not dead. That would suck. So be right back. Okay, I reflashed the SSD, I put a new Hive OS image, and it didn't matter. The same thing happened. I got GPU driver error. And I just remembered why I had that issue before with these 3080s specifically. They're all the same, EVGA for the win 3s. And so there was actually one of the 3080s where I had to underclock the memory down to like 1450. I could not go past 1450, otherwise it would just crash constantly. So let me show you in Hive OS. Here are the 3080s, and this is in the Octominer rig, and you can see I can get 100.3 mega hash on the other 5 3080s here, and then there's one that I'm getting 95.32. Now you can see the memory overclock that I have here, so I'm using absolute core clock 1120 for all of them, and then for the rest of these 5 I'm getting 2400 memory. I'm able to get 100 mega hash. But this first 3080, if I go past 1450 memory, it will say driver error and it just won't work. Okay, so that is why I had that GPU driver error issue. It wasn't the SSD, it wasn't the Hive OS install that I had on my old one. Even though I reflashed to a new one, it still did not work, but it was because of the overclock. I had it at 2400 for all of them, or 2000 initially for all of them, and then that's why this one would not work, and that's why I was getting the GPU driver error in Hive OS. But now it's okay, and it's mining. You can see here I have the fans off for each of the 3080s, but it looks like the last 38, oh yeah, they're off. And then I have the fans at 100% on the Octominer, okay? And the whole rig apparently is taking 1,631 watts. So I can control the Octominer external fans if I wanted to, auto fan, but since I turned off the fans for the 3080s, I think I'm just gonna leave it at 100, as I think the temperatures for these 3080s are, you know, they're gonna start creeping up here. I just started, and I just wanted to show you guys the power for the power supplies. I thought that was really cool. We can see each of the 1200 watts that are drawing, you know, how much power here. So 554 for the first 1200 watt, 482, and then 595, which is pretty slick. That is really nice to see that specific power consumption off each 1200 watt. Okay, so let's go to the PDU. So I'm taking about 13 amps on this bank. So I have 2 of my 3080 rigs plugged in, this 3080 rig, and then I have the other Octominer one that I just made here on that PDU. So that looks cool. Does that look great or what? And here is the 1200 watt power supplies on this side here. Okay, I got 3 plugged in. So that's one of the downsides. I guess I gotta have more C13 to C14 cables plugged into my PDU, 240 volt, 30 amp PDU. So, all right guys, success. A lot of airflow. I don't feel much heat at all. So that's really good for these 3080 non-LHRs. Transitioning slowly to Octominer cases. As you guys know, it's gonna be definitely a fun transition, moving all of my rest of my 12 GPU mining rigs, which I will have other videos down the road. I gotta figure out, because I do want to do 8 per Octominer case, and so most of my rigs here are 6 GPU rigs with, you know, specific GPUs like Zotac 3070 Ti's, 3070s, 3070s, 3070s. These are all non-LHRs. So looks like I may have to mix and match in order to build 8 GPU Octominer rigs. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. All right, guys, that's it for this video. That was unexpected and fun to switch to my Octominer case anyway. And this 1300 watt Seasonic Prime power supply, I will have to RMA. And I guess, oh man, I'm just dreading the fact that once I move everything to Octominer cases, I'm gonna have a crap ton of open air frames and power supplies and motherboards and risers and SSDs. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a major inventory when I do all of that in the next couple months. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one, and peace out.